In the first reading, St. Paul notices that the Corinthians are becoming rather prideful, self-congratulatory, with an inflated sense of self. And Paul loves these Corinthians. He doesn't wish to shame them or embarrass them. He doesn't want to win the argument or get one over on them or emerge triumphant. That's not Paul, and that's not what this is about. Paul wishes to admonish them as his beloved children. For as the psalm says, should the righteous smite me, it is a kindness. Should he rebuke me, it is like oil for my head. And so Paul rhetorically asks these Corinthians some very pointed questions. Why do you Corinthians think that you have all the answers? In other words, you don't. And Corinthians, for the answers that you do have, where you are correct, why do you delude yourself into thinking that you arrived at those answers yourself? In other words, you didn't. They were received by you. And the Corinthians learned the infinite value of humility and how there is power in being last, weak, suffering, poor, held in disrepute, scorned, slandered, ridiculed, mocked. For it is in this humility that we find actual strength, the strength to forgive, to bless, to endure, to be kind and merciful to others. In other words, to be exactly like Christ. That is where true strength is found, the value of being last. The Corinthians weren't a bad and wicked people. They were just all too human, which is why this letter, I think, is a good opportunity for us to reflect on our own lives and guard against pride from creeping in. In preparation for this reflection, I did that this past week, and I found it enormously valuable. I have been given so much in life. Life itself, faith, love of family and friends, a vocation, the permanent deacon at my parish, and I want for nothing. But can you imagine what a prideful and arrogant fool that I would be if I had boasted that I achieved all of this on my own, through my own hard work, ingenuity, the sweat of my brow, etc. I don't need God, and I don't need anybody else. No. Those are comical statements that run counter to the facts on the ground. Now, surely I play some part in what I have, for I must cooperate with the graces that I've been given. But where did all this love and goodness in my life originate, and what sustains it? Paul's letter reminds me, take stock, for it is God who is the original source of everything good in my life, and it is God who sustains it. And so it is God who gets the glory and the thanks. But I must also remember that it is part of God's plan to work through all of us. So let me also remember the people in my life, my wife and children, my parents, teachers and colleagues, friends and neighbors, Father Jim and other clergy, all of whom themselves cooperate with God, reflecting his love and joy that also sustains me. I can't do it alone. And frankly, I don't want to. I can't imagine how dreary and lonely that would be. Indeed, we are nothing without God. We need him, and we need each other. It was a mistake for the Corinthians to forget that. But we here gathered today, we will remember.